What's up, you guys? My name's Helene Foy. Welcome back to my channel. Heads up, before I begin this video, I just had a crap ton of caffeine, so I am here and ready, y'all. Okay, anyway, before I begin, please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell, all that fun stuff. It really does help support me and my channel. And yeah, without further ado, I'm going to jump right into this video. So I am going to be doing the all my novel ideas tag, and this tag was originally started by Autumn Ashley and Sara Lubratt, and I was tagged by Madeline Monaghan to do this video, and so I am going to be tagging any and all of my Authortube and writing friends who are watching this video. If you are watching this and you have yet to do a tag or a video like this, consider yourself tagged. Alright, now before I begin talking about all of the books that I want to write, I am going to begin by talking about the books I have written. So there are many, the books I have written are a lot less than the books I want to write. The first novel I ever finished, I finished like 2 days ago, I kid you not, which was really great. Just, it was such a rush. So I'm getting that ready for beta readers, but if you want more details about that, definitely check out my previous video. I'll put it in a card up here and then maybe link it down below. If I don't forget, we'll see. But yeah, so I did finish that first book, and that, I'm calling it IDIMF, I-D-I-M-F, which, yes, is the abbreviation for the actual title. And I did finish that. It is a young adult fantasy book, and it is the first in a planned trilogy. I also finished a novelette this December, actually. Just in 1 month, I came up with a story. I'm calling this novelette Project Mirror, and the story revolves around how the man got in the magic mirror. So it's a lot of retellings and playing around with different types of magic and mirror realms and things like that, which was really fun. So yeah, those are the two projects I've actually finished. I finished a lot of other short stories and flash fiction, but we're not talking about those in this video. Anyway, now that I got that out of the way, I am going to be talking about the books I want to write. Now, because I'm a person who loves organization, I am separating these books out into, I believe it is 3 different categories. Yes, I have my laptop here, all my notes. So the first category are books I'm writing now. So books I'm currently working on. As I mentioned before, there's IDIMF, which is book 1 in the Rashindi Chronicles series. I did finish that. I'm sending it out to beta readers and stuff. That is kind of put to the side till I get more beta reader feedback and I can do final edits for it. And then obviously I'm planning to do books 2 and 3 for the Rashindi Chronicles series. So I'm considering those like books that I'm writing now. When it comes to, I have not started book 3 yet, but book 2, I am in the very early drafting stages for it. It's kind of been on the back burner over NaNoWriMo and trying to deal with book 1, obviously. But eventually I am going to get back to book 2 and then obviously eventually book 3. Another one in the books I'm writing now category is Project Goldwings, and that was my NaNoWriMo project. It is a young adult fantasy, and it is an Icarus retelling, which is so much fun. However, I kind of got to the middle of that. I'm in the drafting stages for it, and I got about halfway through, and then I realized that there's something missing, and I don't know if I need to work on characters more or the magic system more or what, but there's something missing from it, so I don't feel like I can keep drafting it yet. I really need to take time and go back and kind of revisit the outline a little bit. So yeah, that's what I'm doing with it right now. And then I'm also working on my steampunk story, which I did for, what was it called? It was a video I'd done because I'm a plotter, and it was Plotter Tries Pantsing. And so I did try to pants the steampunk story, which means I wrote with absolutely no outline. I just flew by the seat of my pants. Again, I will put the card for that video up here if you all are interested in seeing a little bit more information about steampunk story. I'm also, this is a book I just unearthed. Sisters Trithinia is what the book is called, and I wrote this book several years ago. I got, again, about halfway through the first draft of it, and then I rediscovered it recently, and I kind of revamped the outline. Again, I have a video of that as well, so I'll put it up here if you're interested in watching that, I am revamping that one as well. And that one is more of a mystery. It's fantasy, because of course it is. It's me. Of course it's going to be fantasy. It's a fantasy novel, and there's some mystery in it, but it is a little more, not, I would say it's young adult, but it is probably going to lean a little bit toward the younger side of young adult. So there's not as many dark themes as with my other stories. Alright, so those were all books that I'm writing right now, and I work on all of those like at different times. Sometimes I'm feeling like I want to work on one project, I'll work on that. Sometimes I'm feeling like I want to work on drafting this other project, etc., etc. I kind of juggle around. Right now, since obviously I finished IDINF, and I'm waiting for beta readers, this video came at such a perfect time because I was trying to look back and figure out what project to work on next. So those are my list of projects that I could potentially be working on right now. I'm really trying to get going on Sisters Trithinia. I'm trying to get that up again, but I'm at a really unmotivated place with like all of these projects, and that's a whole other conversation, but I think it's just because I'm feeling unmotivated in general, so we'll see. Alright, books I want to write in the near future. So this is the second category. So the first one is, I'm just calling it Grimaldi right now. I think the full title might be something like The Grimaldi Guide to Deathly Dinners or something like that. And it is basically Clue meets the Addams Family, but written as a middle grade novel. And I'm really excited. I have a bunch of really fun characters planned out and a really cool mystery happening. The reason why it's in the books I want to write in the near future list, it's because I have not read middle grade books in a really long time, so I want to kind of either reread or find some more middle grade books to read to kind of get my mind back into that category because I'm so used to writing young adult. And then another book is Red Flame Rising, and that will probably be a duology. Knowing me, it'll probably be a trilogy, but we're gonna try to get it to stay as a duology. Anyway, so Red Flame Rising is a dystopian novel that deals with cyborgs and, of course, government rebellion, because it's dystopian, but there's a lot of drama and false identities, and there's a lot of stuff to do with like spying and things like that as well, which is really fun. That was a book that I actually started writing several years ago, and I thought I got about halfway through. I actually pantsed that book. I pantsed that book, and it was actually so good. I completely forgot about it because I always thought of myself as a plotter, right? But this was a book I pantsed, which is so fun, and I again recently discovered it, started reading through it, and I was like, this is really good. But the bad thing about pantsing is that if you ever want to go back and try to remember what was supposed to happen, you don't have notes to be able to tell you what's supposed to happen. So that's a problem I'm coming up against. I'm trying to scrounge and find those few little handwritten notes I'd written to myself all those years ago about what's supposed to happen. How is she supposed to get off this train? Yeah, anyway, but it's all good, and I do want to write it in the near future. It's something that I might actually bring up to books I'm writing now, to that category. It depends. All of these, even though I put them in categories, it's all pretty fluid. Like I'm definitely a mood writer. I don't know if that's a thing. I know there's people who like mood read. You have to be in the mood for certain things. I mood write. So I have to be in the mood to write a certain book or a certain genre. So anyway, these are all pretty fluid. But that is it for the books I want to write in the near future category. And then moving on to the third one, books I want to write later on. So in the future, I don't know when, but for the most part, these books I have tabled in this category because it's really something that I think the story is really good and really promising, but I think that I am not at a place as a writer yet where I'm going to be able to execute it well. I don't think I'm going to be able to do it justice as the writer I am right now because I'm still learning, I'm still growing, you know, and these books are going to take a little more I don't know, just more in general, and I don't want to start on them until I've grown a little bit more as a writer, if that makes any sense, because I want to make sure I do them justice. So the first one in this is actually a series, and I don't know if I want to say like the actual, the working title for that series, but it's basically a Bonnie and Clyde inspired story, but it's a series about this couple and they live in the 1910s, and there's a lot. I don't know how to describe it. They're kind of like Bonnie and Clyde. They pull heists. They're a couple. They're like a power couple. It's really great. I'm really excited for it. I'm obviously doing a terrible job at describing it, but I have a lot of plans for books and things like that. I think they're going to be pretty short, fast-paced books, but there's probably going to be a lot of them in the future. And it will probably be an adult series, so it's just something I do want to wait a little bit on because I need to get enough ideas together to create the full series. You know what I mean? And then the working title for this book, which is actually, again, part of a series, is called Dark Fairy Tale Epic, which pretty much tells you everything you need to know. So basically, it's going to be a whole epic high fantasy series that is inspired by all the fairy tales and things like that. And so, especially like the darker side of the fairy tales, and they're all combined into one storyline. So that's going to be really fun. Also on this list is Gothic Flower. I know, my names are ridiculous. And this is a story I'm actually working on still, like every once in a while. I've kind of been working on it for the past few years, and by working on it, I mean if I get inspired for like a certain scene, I'll write that scene out, kind of like flash fiction. So I have a bunch of random disjointed scenes right now for it, because this one actually relies a lot on the prose because it is written in first-person POV, and it's basically a psychological thriller, but written like in a Gothic 1800s parallel universe time period thing, which is really fun. It's kind of like Hunger Games meets the Night Circus. So I'm really excited for that, but it is something where I'm going to have to be on the top of my game with that point of view and that prose in order to show like the psychological development my main character is going through. And last but not least, this is a contemporary romance book, which is a genre I don't usually write in, so that's why it's in the tabled for later category. And this is another weird name. It's called Donut Mafia. Basically because the main character's family works at a donut shop, but she gets tangled up with, I don't know if it's going to be like mafia or gangs or conspiracies, I don't know, but she gets tangled up with some pretty dark stuff and meets a guy along the way who's also tangled up in this stuff. And I don't know if I'm doing a good job of selling this or describing this to you, but yeah, that's most of the reason why it's tabled right now, because I don't have a clear, I had like somewhat of an outline, but I don't really know logistics of all of that gang mafia stuff yet, so I don't even want to touch it yet. Okay, my camera died, so I had to move it to a slightly different angle so I could get the charger cord to fit and all that fun stuff. But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and please, again, feel free, if you are watching this video, consider yourself tagged. Feel free to do this challenge. It's super, super fun, and again, could not have come at a better time for me. This is getting me really inspired, just looking back at all my story ideas. It's getting me really inspired to find a new one, work on a new project, and all that fun stuff. So yeah, please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell so you can be alerted every time I post a new video or live stream, because I do have 4 live streams coming up on my channel. They're going to be word sprint live streams, and I will I will put them in the description box below, along with who all is going to be co-hosting with me. And yeah, that's going to be it from me today, you guys. Thank you again so much for watching. I hope you all have a wonderful day, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!